The talking is over. Well, technically the talking will begin tonight, but the Premier League starts now. Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well. We are on time, Jay. Look, man, we're as close to on time as any YouTuber in this world ever is, right? I'm telling you, as accurate as they come, it's us. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds, and it starts this week, guys and girls. It starts this week. I'm excitedly nervous. I don't know. We're going to get into all of that as always. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And just a quick reminder, you got about a day and a half to get these bad boys here. Your double signed framed Nuno and Awoniyi shirt from Football Prizes, with an Insta prize win of number 40, which I believe has not been claimed yet, which is Murillo, and a new home shirt, which is ticket 225, if memory serves me right. So go check out the link. It's pinned in the comments, or you can scan Murillo right here. All right, let's jump into it. Let's shout out Glenn. Thank you so much for 23 months. One away from the new badge. Who's going to get the new badge first? That's the question. Thank you so much, Glenn. Can't believe it's been 23 months. Get your highs in the chat. Panel, how you all doing? Welcome to this last format of Grumpy Old Reds before we change everything up next year. Next month, year.
Next week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all good, man.
I'm nervous. Is anyone nervous about this Bournemouth match, man? No.
Not now. Solanke's gone.
No, yeah, Solanke's gone. I'm fine. But go on, Crypto. You start off.
So great. How are you? Chat. Are you nervous? Yes or no? Like excitedly nervous. Wait, is it Nicky's birthday? Hold on.
Really?
Lads.
He's kept that quiet.
He's kept that quiet. Birthday beats.
Oh,
33 and maybe 63.
He ain't 33. He ain't 30. Nicky, look at that old face on his face. By the way, what a set of abs Nicky's got, eh? We got to see it the other day. Beautiful abs. Happy birthday, mate. Hope you're well. All right. Let's get organized. You're not nervous, Crypto?
Well, no, because when I last saw Forest Bournemouth live at home, Solanke scored a hat-trick, if I'm not mistaken, and he's no longer there. So I think we'll be fine. Look, I think the difference between now and where we were last season is that our pre-seasons looked really good. Yeah. And I think we've got the right players in the right position. I'm still a little bit worried about a striker, but saying that, Chris Wood is match fit. Chris Wood looks good. So I'm not worried at the moment. I would be worried if he was to pick up an injury, because I'm not sure if Taiwo is going to be the man he used to be. But I'm not worried at all. I think we'll be fine. They've no longer got a star striker. We've been in form pre-season. We've made some great signings. We've also got a really strong bench. I thought last season our bench was a bit weak, but this season, if you look at the midfield, trying to choose between all of those players, I think we're in a really strong position, and I think Nuno will do us proud, and I think we'll go and win it. And I don't think we'll concede too many either. I'm not quite sure what's happened to Carlos Miguel, but I'm feeling confident. I'm starting the season positively, and if it had been Rob's way, he would have been playing for us instead of Spurs.
I would have been happy with that.
You still on this Solanke bandwagon, Rob?
Well, I said we should be prepared to pay up to 40 million for him, and it seems like Spurs value him more highly than that. But anyway, Ant reckons he's not good enough for Forest, so we've dodged a bullet there, haven't we, Ant?
We dodged a bullet. Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with Ant. I'm sorry, I agree with Ant. He blows hot and cold. One good season, Ant, and he's worth 60 million or whatever it was.
Yeah. I mean, he's been at Bournemouth for about 4 years, and he's had 3 very poor to average.
He was good in the championship.
So what?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I'm agreeing with you here, Ant. Don't so what me. I'm on your side, mate. I'm on your side, mate.
I mean, there's always a possibility they might sign a replacement in the next because they've now got 65 million to spend. So
they're getting the Barca defender, aren't they? But
they've already bought
the
a striker in, Rob. I've never heard of him, but I know they've already brought one in. They paid about 9 million for him or something.
Well, so the transfer deadline is like it's a couple of weeks into the season, isn't it? So
2nd of September, I think. Yeah.
So they may well not have the chance to spend that 55 million before we play them. So let's hope that's the case. But I mean, what a nice change to actually start with a home game as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the last two.
No, I haven't. Okay, yes, sir. Sorry, I was just about to say, Rob, just as a very, very quickie, that Bournemouth can have 55, 60 million to spend, but no 55, 60 million pound striker would go to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
No, but what I'm saying is it takes time for them to reinvest that money. And also they're going to pay over the odds for anybody that they bring in now. So we're getting them at the right time, which is not like us. Normally we get people at exactly the wrong time. Like we got Everton just after they got the points deduction and all that crap. But I mean, it's the best possible start for us. A home game, which we haven't had the last 2 years. Last 2 years, we've started and finished with away games, which I think is complete crap. And we need to just get the job done. I'm really optimistic that Bournemouth have got it coming this time. I think we could do No. It's time to put them to bed. This season...
Don't jinx it, Rob.
All we've got to do this season is beat Brentford and Bournemouth, home and away, and we will be mid-table, right? Because that 12 points...
That's 12 points. What about the rest?
I know, but it's like, why have we had... So we need Brentford to sell Tony now, and then that's a nice 12 points for us.
Don't forget as well, last time most of our goals were conceded by set pieces. In our pre-season, we look to have kind of got around that on both sides of the field as well. We're better at defending set pieces, and some of Anderson's balls into the box were brilliant. So that for us is going to be massive. I know Ez mentioned last stream, if you take away our set piece goals from last season, we would have finished something like 4th in the Premier League. Now, obviously, every team's going to concede them. But we're not going to concede nowhere near as many as last season. So we're going to be way better.
All right. Before Ez goes all delusional, I'll come to you in a second. Let me just shout out the beautiful Marky Boy. With the £20, Marky Boy. Thank you so much. Can't wait for the new season to start. Congrats on hitting 20k subscribers. Hit the like button and subscribe over. I see what he's done there. 20 quid, 20k. Mark, you better hope we never get to 100k, mate. That's going to bankroll you so much. Thank you so much, Marky. But he's coming up to 24 months as well. You're an absolute legend, bro. Can't wait to see you as well in the flesh at some point this season. All right, Ez, are you going to be as crazy and deluded as these lot? Or are we going to get some realism here? Because Crypto thinks we're winning the league. Rob thinks we're going to buy Tony. And I don't know where Ant is right now, but he's somewhere there. What are you saying, Ez?
Well, I'm more positive with the home tie opening the season, like Rob said. And I want to change from last season because Ant was there, sat next to me at the Sheffield game, our first home game last season.
He's trying to say you don't want Ant sat next to you this season.
He isn't sitting next to me.
Oh, there you go then.
That's not the point. That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is, we started off with a Monday night game last season, and it was one of the weirdest atmospheres I can remember for an opening game of a season in the Premier League. That Sheffield game was atrocious atmosphere-wise, and we only just got the 3 points out of it. I'm expecting the home atmosphere against Bournemouth to be through the roof, like it was for the West Ham game in our first season. So that kind of atmosphere, and I think that could really work in our favour. But yes, they've lost Solanke, but for me, their danger man has always been Semenyo. I rate him higher anyway. I think he's a better striker, better all-round player. So if he gets a chance, I'm kind of a little bit worried about that. But to be fair, we shouldn't be worrying about Bournemouth at home. I know they're our bogey team, and they have been, but things have got to change, and Nuno's a man to change it. I'm going on from what Crypto said. The confidence comes from the pre-season we've just had. It's been one of the best, not just in the last few years, but in probably last decade or so that I can remember, in terms of how we were set up and the minutes that he was playing with players. He got them properly set up for this first game of the season. So whoever his starting lineup is, and we'll debate that later on in the show, I'm confident that whoever he picks is going to be in the best shape, and we're going to start the season off with a flyer. So 3 points on Saturday for me, 100%. So I am optimistic.
And don't forget as well, the same as last season where we had a guaranteed team going down in Sheffield, we've got the same this season with Leicester. So that's already a boost to the start of the season.
What is the situation with their
relegate one team already?
Can we get some clarity on what's happening about their points deduction?
November. I'm here in November. It's all speculation. You'll hear anything from 6 to 15 points. So you don't know yet, but they expect it to be in November. Don't forget, Man City have got their hearing in November as well. There's been rumors today that Everton are being done for PSR again. And obviously, Man U got a 40 million allowance for COVID with their brown envelope. So it's all fun and games right now. Don't you shake your head at me, Anthony? All right.
No, I'm saying about the Man U thing. That's what I'm shaking my head about.
Sickening, man. It's absolutely
40
sickening.
million. Not one other club in the entire league got more than $1 million. And they got
Sickening.
40 million.
Sickening.
Brown envelopes.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of PSR to still be played out this season. But Ant, just looking at this Bournemouth team, when was the last time we beat them, man? 2015? I think you got to go that far back. They are a bogey team officially.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. You know me, I don't believe in this bollocks, jinxes and.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
No, how many times have you gone on about Liverpool didn't beat Forest since 1984 at the City Ground?
That's because we were better than them.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, what about the time? What about the time when you? What about when he single-handedly retired our best striker from football? He went through his whole career, and you retired him on a single stream.
Yeah, but
literally like the day after.
In a jinx, was it? I just said it.
It was literally the day after he retired.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
All right. So what are you saying then?
Guys, listen,
So what are you saying against Bournemouth?
I'm like the rest of the guys. I'm very positive about it. I think we'll beat Bournemouth. I think that we're looking so good. The abundance of midfield players that we've got, to the extent that none of us can name a three that would be definite, and we could all have different threes, quite easily. So that is fantastic. If we get this Jimenez guy, we'll go on to it, so I won't mention that now. Okay. So yeah, I'm dead positive. I had something else to say now, but I've forgotten it. I'm tired.
Typical. Hold on.
On the subject of pre-season.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Thanks, Rob.
Nice try, Rob. Nice try.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Now, I was very critical, as you were, Wolfie, about our pre-season, glamorizing America and all that lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
We thought that commercially that would be far better, raise our profile, etc., etc. However, I heard something the other day that made me think, maybe this pre-season has been pretty well thought out. We've had the little Chesterfield warm-up game. We've had the Spanish thing, which is only an hour or so away, a couple of hours away. We've come back, had the own match, and then had one in Olympicos. It's been pretty well thought out. And the point I'm trying to make is that I heard that Chelsea players have travelled 12,000 miles in pre-season because they've been over to the States, then over to the other side of the States, then they have to come back to the other side of the States, then they have to come back again. That's 12,000 miles they've travelled, at least. Now, that can't be good. That can't be
Man,
good.
they're not travelling easyJet, mate.
People say that, and I agree. They're traveling in absolute luxury. You're still traveling. You're still up in the air.
Still jet lag.
I don't know about you, but when I travel on a plane, I always feel a bit kind of weird when I get off the plane. It's never, I don't feel 100% great. Let's go.
You get knackered coming home after the match of the City Ground, mate. What are you talking about a plane for, man?
That's now. I talk about when I used to travel abroad.
Oh, the good old days.
Yes, okay. But no, I'm surely you've got to admit, traveling 12,000 miles and having the schedule they've had, that's got to be tiring. So
I agree.
What I'm trying to say is I've come to terms with the fact that actually it was a very well thought out pre-season. We've got no injuries. Whatever. Got no injuries. We've got no injuries, which I have to say the other teams have, So we've not got any injuries, and I think that's partly down to the way that the pre-season has gone. And Nuno himself has said that to him, it's the most important part of the season. So he does treat it quite seriously. And I think he's done stuff I wouldn't have done. He's played certain players that I wouldn't have played. But I think in general, we've got to be happy with it.
Yeah.
I'm still a little concerned. I'm still a little bit concerned with the lack of a Premier striker. That's the only thing. I
Yeah.
think we need an elite striker. If we could get, I tell you now, if we could get a good striker in Ramsdale, we'd be fucking flying. I'd be talking Europe, mate.
Ooh.
Just last thing to add on to it. I guess the proof will be in how we play, and we've got a real great chance with our opening set of 3 or 4 fixtures to get off to a really good start. So that will be the proof of it. We all agree the last 2 pre-seasons have been atrocious. They haven't just been bad, they've been absolutely atrocious. No preparation for the players, no real thought or plan that went into it. And we started both seasons really badly. We had a good chance last season with playing all the promoted teams at home for the first 3 games. Yes, our away fixtures were horrendous, but our home fixtures were great. And we did not take it on. And we saw what that preseason did to us in terms of play. So, like I say, we can review it again in about 4 or 5 game weeks' time. But we've got a real opportunity to have a really good start. And I think the preparation has been spot on. In terms of these international tournaments and stuff like that, it's all about raising awareness for the club. That is the main and only reason for it. Right now, I don't think we need to focus on that. Right now, I think we need to focus on the playing squad. And getting, our home affairs in order, and let's worry about that first. Let's nail that down, because the first 2 seasons in the Premier League, we made a lot of amateurish mistakes. I called it out. I said at times towards the end of last season, Mr. M needs a massive clear out of the people around him, and start again. But this pre-season has been a lot more positive. The recruitment has been more positive. But like the guys have already said, I think there's just maybe one. Add the goalkeeper as a second position, but maybe 1 or 2 positions that we still need to iron out. But other than that, I think it's been really a lot better anyway. Let's not say it's been perfect yet, because it's not over quite yet, but it's been a lot more positive. And that gives me the confidence going into these first few games.
It almost feels a little weird, doesn't it, boys, that it's the first time since we've been back in the Premier League where I feel there's been structure. Now, I had the pleasure of watching Leicester yesterday, and the even greater pleasure of getting WhatsApp messages from Chappie afterwards. And I saw Cooper's interview and everything. And you have to say that his routine has followed him. I'm not having a bash at Cooper. Well, maybe some will perceive it as. But honestly, the Leicester fans are up in arms. They're saying there's no identity, no structure, no direction, no nothing. What we've seen over the last 2 years, where we're all sitting here now looking at how Nuno's constructed this. And when you look at Nuno's track record, Rob, in the Premier League, 7th with Wolves twice in a row. I think Spurs were top of the league when he took over them before it went all ugly. He comes out the blocks.
He managed the month in the first.
Yeah, he wasn't he?
Well, we've all got what we wanted to see, which is that we wanted Nuno to be given a pre-season. And Cooper's situation at Leicester is entirely different to what it was at Forest, because he had so much credit in the bank. And that first season, he was running on purely on momentum. And he's starting from 0 in Leicester. I don't know. I don't know whether he's going to last the season, because it sounds like they're already turning on him. And,
they have,
but the problem is that if they get the points deduction, who's going to want to take that job? I mean, they may well. I mean, I remember Sheffield last season. They started before the season had started. They'd given up because they'd sold all their best players. Yeah. And I sense that Leicester may set in the same mentality. In which case, they'll probably just stick with Cooper. But I just don't see how it's going to work for him there, because he hasn't got what he had with us, which is a tremendous amount of credit in the bank. And he was able to cash that in and sort of talk about the process and building and all of that kind of stuff.
Well, he did something no other manager did for us, so he will always be special. So that gave him credit in the bank, doesn't it? And he, like you say, starting from 0.
I want to say something about the pre-season. We shouldn't get too excited about it. I mean, we won 3, drew 2, lost 1, and we did have a couple of games without scoring there before the Marinakis derby, which was fantastic, by the way.
Quality game.
But my question is about the readiness of Jota Silva, because that is a signing I was very excited about, because we need some balance. We need that right-sided winger. But I don't think he's set foot on the pitch for us yet. And is there an actual fitness problem there, is my question too.
He played against Olympicos.
Came on last game.
Yeah. He was ghost-like, I'll be honest.
Late. That
Yeah,
must
he
have
came
been
on with
late.
15
Yeah,
minutes to go.
All right, okay. So he
Can't
has,
take
his
anything.
cam. He had
So
one
he's
time.
not
Take anything.
injured or anything.
Can't take anything from that because
No.
the whole side had been changed by that time. That's
So,
why
yeah.
they're letting those 2 goals.
I
Because
mean, I don't want to do the Bournemouth lineups early, but it seems like Elanga put in enough of a performance there to be in contention at least for a starting position on.
Oh, he'll play,
starting.
surely. He has
Sorry?
to play. He has to play, surely.
I want to see Silva. He's what we needed, proper right-sided player. And I'm just a bit disappointed that we've barely seen him since we signed him because
He went back, didn't he, for a few days to say his goodbyes, and then he came back just in time for the Olympicos trip. I think I agree with you. I want to see Jota play, but I don't think he's ready to start. I think it will be Elanga.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain players after that pre-season who are absolutely going to hit the ground running, like Hudson-Odoi, Sangare.
Yeah.
You can see that they've got momentum behind them now. Chris Wood as well, and Yates, amazingly. So I mean, Murillo's looked a bit dodgy, right? But I mean, what I'm saying is, I just think I would have liked to see some of him because I think that was definitely we need a counterpart to Hudson-Odoi. We need a right-sided threat. And I don't know whether he's even going to start with Dominguez there because I think he did reasonably well in that position as well. But it's not his natural position, is it?
But he was brilliant. I think Dominguez has been quality this pre-season. Wherever he's played.
Apart from his haircut.
Apart from his haircut, but that helps you notice him more. You know what I mean? He's just I love that player. He just reminds me so much of a Kante, the way he gets around the pitch. I love that.
He still go though. There's been interest in him, hasn't there? I mean,
from Turkish clubs.
Doesn't it give Elanga something to worry about now? Because that's what he didn't have last season. He didn't. There was really no challenge to him. Who do we have?
Yeah, Elanga was being picked even when he wasn't fit and even when he wasn't on form.
And like I mentioned on our last show, if Nuno towards the end of the game, say Wood is our only fit striker and Taiwo is not quite right yet, he's not going to play for 90 minutes. I'm sorry, I think I can hear the echo again. I don't know if it's me, but if Nuno's going to resort to playing that false 9, I would much rather see Jota playing that false 9. So he's someone I think we can just lay off a little bit. He'll probably not start games. He'll probably come on after about an hour or so with 20 half an hour, 25 minutes to go. But to be honest, Elanga did really well in that last game. That goal that he took, he's starting to show some football IQ.
Does that mean he goes to Newcastle now? Because the chat's raised that very important point, which is they've definitely got their eye on him, haven't they?
I don't think he wants to go. I don't think he wants to go.
Him, but we've got options now, So
I think as well.
And like you said earlier, Rob, we've got another 3 or 4 weeks of a window. Go on, Ant.
One of the biggest changes from last season is if I had any criticism last season of Nuno, it was his substitutes. He hasn't got that excuse this season because our substitute bench is good. If you look at pretty much every position, okay, maybe not striker, but every position has good cover. If you need to bring on Danilo or Dominguez, or even Taiwo. If Taiwo is in form, he will be a good substitute. But I do agree that we need another one. But the substitute defenders are going to be Bolly, for example. You've got some great people there who you can replace the starting 11 with. And if there's one weakness for me, it was those subs last season. I think he needs to make them earlier as well, because he was making subs in like the 70th, 75th minute, trying to catch up and win the game.
He didn't start like that, did he? His subs in the first 2 to 3 games were spot on, and then he faded really to that. Yeah,
I'm not sure why he kind of dropped off into a bit of a low block by the end of the season, but I'm hoping this season he knows what he's doing. He knows his players better. He knows which positions they work best in. So I'm full of confidence for the season ahead.
Yeah.
Another encouraging thing is the versatility as well, because players like Anderson can play in 3 different positions, and De Silva Moreira as well can play anywhere on the right. Aina can play either side now. So you've got you can do the kind of subs that are not telegraphed, where he can just make changes to the shape and the other team needs about 10 minutes to work out what we've done, if you know what I mean. Whereas like our options last season was so bloody limited.
Just, sorry to interrupt, boys. So there's a couple of bits of transfer news. There'll be a full video on it tomorrow. But Inter have approached Forest over Danilo, £25 million. So they're looking. Milan is working to improve their midfield. In recent days, there's been contact for Danilo. He's a profile highly appreciated. I love the way these journalists always put that. The Brazilian has a valuation of over 25 million.
Well over.
Yeah, fuck me.
So, look, I don't want to quite get into that now. We'll have it on the video tomorrow morning for you guys. There is some more stuff going on about Jimenez as well. We'll probably touch a bit on it later, but there will be a full transfer roundup video out for you guys fresh first thing in the morning. But there is still going to be some movement. This is Forest, man. We play this transfer market. We do. But 25 million is way too low, isn't it? And
way too low.
Yeah. We shouldn't even, and I hope, and I don't imagine we'll either be considering selling him. Why would you? He's a superb young player.
Is there interest from Man U?
Shut up!
Is there interest from Man U?
Welcome back.
He's getting better and better. The potential of the guy is massive. Why would we sell him? We need these midfielders. It gives us a different style of midfielder. Yeah, it's a fantastic player. So
Nuno really likes him.
Interested as they like, and I'm sure they do appreciate him. Yeah. Well, yeah. Why wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
It's their favorite word, this appreciation word.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to pay 50 million for this guy because we really appreciate him. Well, yeah, we figured that. If I could just quickly go back to Langer. I don't think he wants to go. I think he looks very happy at Forest. I don't know if you've noticed, but nearly all the media work is around Elanga. I don't know if any of you guys have noticed this. Every picture, every video, he's even got his own day in the life off that's come out. So I think that he's pretty liked at the club. He's a very, very effervescent, outgoing player, isn't he? And clubs always need that type of player. And I think that on his day, he is fantastic. Against, who's Bournemouth's left back? I don't know. Anybody know Bournemouth's left back?
He's got a first name. I forgot it now. It's like a first name.
Hasn't he got a second name as well?
No, as in his surname is a first name. What's his name?
Milos Kirkers.
Whoever it is.
Rico Henry.
No, man, that's Brentford, man.
Is he at Brentford now? He used to.
Aaron.
I can see you thinking, Ed. I can see you thinking. Anyway, my point being that whoever it is, I'm sure they don't. No defender.
Kelly. It was Kelly, wasn't it? Kelly, I think, off the top of my head.
Yeah. Lloyd Kelly.
Yeah.
But whatever.
See, I was right. It's a first name. It was a first name.
You may as well have said Fred Flintstone because it makes the off. My point.
Aaron's is a right back, Jacker. Aaron's a right back.
The point being that whoever it is, I don't think any left back in the league would particularly look forward to facing Elanga because he is a danger. Whether he's got the end product, we know that that's something he needs to improve on. We know that, but nevertheless, he's still frightening when he's running at you at that pace. So I think he's well worth a place in our squad. You know,
and for what it's worth, it looks like we've all bought how.
Very few. Yeah, sorry, there's very few of the current squad that I would be happy to let go. You've got your Yateses I wouldn't be terribly distressed about. Toffolo I wouldn't be terribly distressed about. But there's not that many now where I wouldn't think, oh no, he's too good.
Left back. I'm standing corrected by the chat. So Kelly's gone to Newcastle. I've always had Max Aarons as a right back. From the Norwich. He's the Norwich kid, wasn't he?
Yeah. Really good player, actually.
Yeah.
Really good player. But he's been played last year. Hasn't he? He's a right back. I'm sure he's a right back.
I had him down as a right back, chat, but maybe they're doing an Einar with him. Just quickly before I hand back to Rob, because I know he was dying to get in. I just want to say thank you to Andy, for becoming a new member. You absolute legend. Phil with the 20 months. Legend, Phil. Forest till I die, 13 months, over that year mark. You absolute legend. And Greg with the 15 months. If you guys want to be members, it's only 99p. Is there an echo? There's still an echo, Ben.
Let me leave and come back in.
It's him. And just a quick reminder, there is nearly 900 of you on here across the FFTV platform, 500 on YouTube with 151 likes. You guys can do better than that. Please do hit the like button. It's completely free to do. It's just there in the bottom corner. Make sure you press it. And don't forget as well, if you haven't got your tickets yet for this beautiful double signed framed Nuno and Taiwo signed shirt, make sure you check the link out right now. It's pinned in the chat, or you can scan the QR code that's next to my ugly face here. Get those tickets in. And if you hit ticket number 40, no trolling, and let us know in the chat. The echo's gone, so it's definitely you, Crypto.
I think it's because I had my aircon on.
Okay. Okay, Rob, patiently waiting there. You were trying to get in and then Ant shut you up. What were you going to say?
No, he was interrupting me. Let's be fair.
Do it again. So I think
I'm going to miss this when the format changes. I'm going to miss it.
When the stream started, Ant was talking, and I left and came back, and he was still talking half an hour later.
You do realise, don't you, Crypto, that people can actually see this, so they know that that's not true. You do realise this.
All right, Rob. Just before you, sorry, Rob. More important than use AH3 with the 3 months. Thank you so much. Keep interrupting Rob with the super chats on the memberships. How to subscribe?
Rob explode.
If you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button down at the bottom. If you want to become a member, !member. I'm sure one of our beautiful mods will put the link in there for you. Just click on that link there where it says stream elements. Choppers is stopping Rob as well with the 15. Look at that body, lads. It reminds me of me a little. Bloody hell, Choppers. You are tonked up there.
Which bit? Which bit reminds you of you?
Thank you so much for the 15 months, bro. And if this makes you feel better, Rob, Moody's saying good to see Rob back. Yes. Unfortunately, you'll be seeing more of him this week. We hope. Rob, over to you, mate.
I think that there has to be a price at which we should consider selling Danilo. Okay, so don't jump down my throat here, right?
Million.
So we've paid 16 million for
18.
18 million. All right, 2 years ago, right? So from an amortization.
Hold on, Rob. Hold on. Sorry, Chris wants to stop you as well. With the 19 months.
I'm raising a lot of money tonight, aren't I? So,
thank you so much, Chris, for stopping Rob. You've done us all a favor. Sorry, Rob. Yeah, it was 18.
Point of view, that means
18, 6.5 years. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So what is there left on him? 12 million left on him, right? So.
Well, we got that deal done before they changed the 5-year rule, if I remember rightly. So 18 divided by 6, you're looking at what?
My
3?
question is, right, let's say Jota Silva's playing on the right, and then you've got Sangare and Dominguez playing in the midfield, right? So Danilo's not a starter, then, is he? He's not a starter.
But he has been. He has been in pre-season with Sangare.
He has been, and he put in some great games last season. Was it Wolves at home he scored, or was it Fulham? I can't remember. I was at the game. I can remember the goal, and then he scored a beautiful goal away at Brentford.
Sorry.
Yeah, but
But he was inconsistent last season, right?
He was last season.
But so was Sangare.
His best
that was
run
last season.
was the last 10 games.
Finish.
His best run was the last 10 games of the Cooper season. Where some couple of the home games there, like Southampton and that was the Brighton home game, he was phenomenal, right? But I don't think he's really kicked on. I think he had a fairly average season last year. Now, all I'm saying is 25 million is low balling, right? It's clear bollocks, right?
Yeah.
But we're talking about Inter Milan and Man United potentially engaging in a bidding war, right? And that's what you want, because both of them will bid up the player and bid up the hype around the player. Then you've got a chance of getting 45 or 50 million for him, which starts to become very difficult to refuse, right? Because we've got to pay for our striker or whatever. You've got to pay for that somehow, right? And we're talking about somebody.
We're not selling Danilo. He's magnificent. Now,
let him finish, Anne. Let him finish.
No, I don't care.
There is an argument.
Hold on, I want to hear this. I want to hear this.
There is an argument.
One of our brightest prospects, getting rid of him, and what we're going to do with the money? Buy some shit that we've never heard of.
There is an argument that even if we did want to sell him, that he could be worth a lot more in a year's time, which is the Murillo argument, which is why I said we shouldn't sell Murillo. We should hang on to him, because if he's inevitably going, we should sell him at the peak of his value. So there's a chance that Danilo could be worth 80 million in a year, right? but that would mean he'd have to be a regular starter. And that would mean that probably Dominguez has to go. We've got more midfielders than we've got space for, with Anderson in the mix as well.
Yeah, but why would you get rid of one of our best midfielders when there's a has-been sat on the bench?
Well, we got rid of Mangala, and you said it was going to get us relegated, and in fact, it's saved us from PSR, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What I said is there is a price at which it's worth considering, and if you've got two of the giants of Europe slugging it out, paying. I mean, look at what Man U paid for Anthony and some utter crap players, right?
Mental.
Yeah, no. If they come in with a crazy bid for him,
no, I'm talking to the guy that said,
but you turned it down.
Tommy, what have you done, Tommy? What have you done?
Pre-season? Has he watched how fucking brilliant Danilo was in pre-season? Are you mental, lad? Fuck off and find another fucking channel.
So Yates was brilliant in the last game. Should Yates start every game?
Shit in pre-season.
But he was brilliant in the last game. Shit,
no, he wasn't. It was shit. I didn't see any piercing fucking driving balls. I didn't see any round the corner tucks. I didn't see fuck all from him.
Yeah, but and the only reason you didn't see that is because the Forest TV stream was so bad. Because I didn't see anything either.
It was all right second half. Second half it improved.
Second half it fixed it, yeah.
You say he fixed it, yeah. It just felt better. It just felt better. All right.
The problem is, can I just come back on a point?
Go on.
I see Sangare and Yates as like a CDM position, right? Anderson can play in multiple positions. Some people would say he's a sub for Morgan Gibbs-White. Some people would put him on the left. Some people put him in the middle. So that basically leaves you Dominguez and Danilo as the cams, the central attacking midfielders. Now, if you get rid of Danilo, I think.
What about Morgan Gibbs-White?
No, but I'm saying Morgan Gibbs-White is in the 10.
Basically, the number 8.
You mean the CM, not the cam? All right, yeah, okay.
CM. On FIFA, I'd have 3 cams because, that's how you win every match. But anyway, look, the point I'm trying to make is if you get rid of Danilo now, just before the season starts, I think you upset the apple cart or whatever.
Yeah, but you're missing the point. You're all missing the point. Hold on.
Why are we talking about this?
Wait, just wait. Because there's a link. Hold on, just look.
Who's this link? Tell me the source.
Inter Milan. You want me to tell you the source? What do you care, man? What do you care? It's Matteo freaking Moretto, the Italian legend. Anyway,
that Matteo Moretto.
Yeah. Anyway, listen. The point Rob was trying to make, when you lot started bullying him. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rob.
No, I'm a football fan. No, I'm a football fan, right? Listen, I am sick and tired of the fucking modern day thing of, how much is he worth? What's he on? How much? I don't give a shit. I want my team to have the best players in their squad. I don't give a shit. You offer 100
Can I finish? I thought you were tired.
Yeah.
What happened to that? Bloody hell, I'd hate to see you awake, man. Seriously. All right. The point Rob was making, correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, is that every player has his price. Yes?
Wrong.
I agree.
How can you say wrong?
Because when Stan Collymore was at Forest, they could have offered 2 billion and I would have said no.
It doesn't matter what you say. No one cares what you say.
We sold him for a British transfer record. So that's just blowing your argument down the water.
That's not me, Rob. That wasn't me that sold him. That was the club, not me. I wouldn't have sold him.
So if they offered 2 billion for Collymore, you would have said no.
Let me say it calmly, right? I am a football fan. Not an economics fan, not a balance fucking profit and sustainability fan.
An accountant.
An accountant. That's the word.
Yeah, but you got to think about it from a different viewpoint as well. You can't just think about it from a fan's view.
Jolly Ollie, don't encourage him. Out of all the people you had to be in.
No, all I'm trying to say is I want my team, my club, to have the best players that we can possibly have. I'm not interested in finance. I'm not naive to think that finance is not an important aspect of football. Of course it is. But if we ain't going broke, which evidently we're not, why would I sell Danilo? Why? Who we're going to replace? You're selling for 40 million. Let's say 40 million, right? So we lose fucking Danilo, right, for 40 million. What we're going to do with that 40 million? I don't care. See what I'm getting at?
No.
That's
not the point. That's not the point. That's not the point.
It's like these people who say my house is worth £1 million. So what? If you want to live in it, it doesn't matter whether it's £1 million or £10. If you want to live in it, it doesn't matter the value.
Yes, we agree with you on
council
that.
tax would triple.
Listen, the point Rob was trying to make, right? Every player has his price, and it's true. You can say what you want, literally.
Can I embellish the point a little bit? Can I have a go now?
Shut up, Rob.
Isn't it the same situation for Murillo?
Is he on Thursday? Is he on Thursday? Because
what about Murillo? In the real world, of course, every player has his price.
But we're in the real world.
About the real world. I'm talking about the world of my football team.
It's about the ant world, man.
So, as I said earlier on, when Stan Collymore went for $8.5 million, that broke my heart. I didn't care about the $8.5 million.
Me too.
He wanted to go on. He wanted to go.
Right.
If Danilo comes out and does
he's had quite a long go, hasn't he?
Follows through with it. That's a different matter.
He's had quite a long go, hasn't he? Right.
Yes.
So
step
We
in.
really should move on because it's pointless discussion. Because
no, just one sec. Is my
echo not selling him? And B,
my echo gone?
We need to move on. It's pointless. Right. We're not going to agree.
Okay,
echo, man.
At the start of the summer, I think we all agreed that the core of the team, the crown jewels, was Hudson-Odoi, Gibbs-White, and Murillo. And we had to do whatever we could do to get through the summer with that core of the team.
He's the new man.
And we've managed to keep that core intact, and well done to the club for achieving that. But what we want is players who are going to add to that core. And I'm looking at the likes of Milenkovic, could be adding to that core. Yeah. So Sangare, if he comes good, adding to that core. I do not think that Danilo is part of the core of the spine of the team. So what I'm saying is, he's one that I would sell. I would sell him at an inflated value if the opportunity, in order to protect the core of the team.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Rob, right. Number one, you don't know whether he's core. I'm sure that he's an important part of Nuno's plans, right? Nuno loves him. Yeah. Plays him every possible time he can. Even when he's been out of form, he's played him. So Nuno loves him. So how can you say he's not part of his plans?
Because
hang on. Let me just finish one little bit and then I'll shut up for a minute. Right. You're saying if you need to sell him to protect the rest of the core, then you'd sell him. What are you on about? What does that mean? Why is it protecting the rest of the core? We don't need to sell anybody. We don't need to sell anybody.
Right. We sold Mangala, much to your discomfort.
Yeah. I was not
and it helped us to protect it, to keep those three players.
Yes, it
right?
did.
So and you absolutely got triggered by me using the words good business. I think it was good business. Because we kept those three players.
Yeah, but
you were certain that we were selling Murillo. You were certain that we were selling Murillo. You were absolutely certain.
Rob, I have never.
Yeah, you did. I'm backing Rob here. You said that Amabamidele and Murillo were not our futures because Murillo would be sold. That's absolute bollocks. You said Amabamidele and Murillo.
Listen, shut your mouth.
Not the future of our. Not the future.
I'm telling you now.
Of our football club. Because you said Murillo would be sold.
He was a young Brazilian and he would want to go.
I'm sure you said you hated Danilo at one point.
Don't say I wanted to sell him, because that's not true. That's disingenuous, and I don't like being. How we call it? You can call me a pillock and everything else, but don't call me a liar, because I fucking ain't. Right? I never, ever said.
Somebody go back and clip it.
Time out. Right, Danilo. We're not talking. Danilo will be updated. All right, shut up, everyone. Danilo, we will have an update on the transfer video tomorrow. We are not talking about. Danilo wasn't even on the goddamn agenda tonight, right? Freak me. Let's move on. Okay, let's move on. Let's just catch up. We've got some super chats, memberships to catch up on. Jason, thank you so much for the 21 months. Absolute legend. Laurie with the 13 months. Laurie, she's probably got her popcorn out right now. Paul with the 19 month. Thank you so much, Paul. You absolute legend. Chris with the £2. He says, Rob, put the crack pipe down and step away. Thank you so much for the £2, Chris. Frederick, a new member. Thank you so much, Frederick. Make sure you're using those emojis in the chat. My God, there's gonna be loads of ant emojis in there. Wazza, the beautiful Wazza with the £2. Elanga has now proved his place for centre midfield. Midfield. Interesting. Okay. And Billy's saying if Danilo goes, I'll get Hamer from Sheffield in. I like Hamer. I've got to say, I do like Hamer. Okay. Quick reminder, if you haven't already, there's nearly 1,000 of you in here now. Some crazy numbers. 204 likes. You guys can do better than that. Make sure you hit the like button. We're 6 subscribers away from 20,100. So if 6 new of you could subscribe, that would be absolutely fantastic. Look at that, Bill, with the 1 year, 8 months, and 28 days. How did you do that, Bill? They always ask me in the chat how you get that. Okay, let's move on to some topics that we were going to talk about. Okay, can anyone remember?
So stop bringing up wrong topics, Rob.
All right, shots fired. Shots fired. Let's go to the semi-sensible one here, Ez. Right. Who is going to be our most important player this season? Chat, I want to know your answers as well. Get them in the... Shut up you for a minute, right? Ez, who is going to be... And no one can say Danilo. Okay, Danilo is banned. The D word is banned tonight, right?
Well, we know what Ant's trigger word is for this season. It's not Mangala anymore.
The new Mangala.
For me, going into it, honestly, and Phil said it, and he's probably trying to steal my limelight, but Hudson-Odoi, 100%. The way he finished the season and the way he's going to be coming into the season with the way he's performed in pre-season as well. Something you guys already touched on, the trio, him, Aina, and Elanga, they seem to really be close knit.
Yeah,
I think as far as even got a couple of them have got houses right next to each other.
I think.
Yeah, pretty much, so that's positive.
How would you know that? That's weird.
How do I know that?
Instagram.
Okay. Weirdos. Sorry, carry on.
Awesome. Anyway, but yeah, I think he's the one. He's the one I'm really looking for to start off the season hot. I think he's got the confidence behind him. I think he's got a team that believes in him, a manager that believes in him, and he's settled. For the first time in a long time in his short, young career, he's settled. And so he's the one. But I do like the look of Anderson. However, Nuno decides to play him, whether he starts with him or brings him on, he stood out for me in pre-season when he came on. He looked composed. He looks controlled. He doesn't look panicked on the ball. He's the type of player we've been missing. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how he works once the season really kicks off. But yeah, Cho for me, Cho's a one. The main
man. What are you saying, Ben?
I think you're missing a trick there, because Cho is brilliant, but I thought he was brilliant last season. The problem was last season is that we didn't have I've lost my thought process. We didn't have a player
how to speak English. What happened there?
It's because I was thinking that Mangala is like 3 times the player Danilo will ever be. And I lost my train of thought. We didn't have an on-form CDM. That was the word I was looking for. On-form. Last season, I think the big difference is Sangare. Somebody's just said it. Sangare this season will be massive because we'll be able to control that midfield, and he will take a huge amount of defensive pressure off our centre-backs. Last season, we conceded so many goals because our centre-backs were getting overrun. We had really good centre-backs. We had Murillo, we had Bolly, etc. Omobamidele. We have really good defenders, but they were getting overrun because, I'll say it, Yates was trying to control the midfield. He's not a goal machine, whoever just said that. Yates cannot control the midfield in a Premier League game. He had a good pre-season game the other day, and I still think he can do something as a super sub. I think he can get stuck into people when it's the right time, wind people up when we're ahead. But you've got to control that midfield, and I think Sangare, if he's in form this season, he's going to be absolutely key. Yeah, Crypto Biden is in the house. But yeah, I think Sangare, it's got to be him. He's looked brilliant in pre-season, and I think he'll be the difference this season.
All right, Rob, you were shaking your head a little.
Well, I'd love to see it with Sangare, and he's been good.
You know what?
You're not convinced.
No, he's been good in pre-season, but my question is, what happens when he has a bad game, right? So if you take that Palace game, for example, he had a terrible first half, looked sad, came off, and didn't really play again for the rest of the season. So I just feel like it's a lot of brittle confidence at the moment. I want the best for him. I really hope he comes good, and I'm optimistic, but I'm not necessarily as confident as you guys. Now,
I think he's settled though, isn't he? Last season he had a lot of.
Don't interrupt him, Crypto, because it takes an hour anyway.
He's been given a vote of confidence in the preseason, so let's hope that confidence is deep-seated and doesn't just fall apart after one bad performance, which it could.
Rob, right? Can I just say that I always wondered, when you walk through the streets of Amsterdam, I always wondered what was sat behind those red light windows, and now I know.
It's just me.
It's just you on FFTV every week.
Now, in terms of who's going to be the most important player for us, the core of the core is still Gibbs White. And as far as I'm concerned, now there's a New England manager. Yes, he's got massive competition with Bellingham and Foden, but I felt like he was really poorly treated by Southgate, didn't get a look in. And with a new setup, he really needs to be vying for an England squad place at the very least. And, with us in mid-table, as we all hope that we can be, he really needs to shine this season. He was so much better last year under Nuno than he was being played out of position by Cooper. I think he can get better still. Because the thing is, the things that Gibbs White can do, not many players can do, right? Just some of the things he does, like bending the ball with the outside of his foot. And, he has got top quality in his locker, right?
It'd be nice if you could pass to a Forest player.
Yeah, but Rob, a question to that. Morgan Gibbs White was brilliant last season, but we nearly got relegated still. It's not going to be the difference, is it?
Yeah, well, Murillo was brilliant.
He was brilliant.
No, but what I'm
Do you not think he was brilliant, Anne? He was better than Danilo.
No, I don't think he was brilliant at all.
He's one
I would get rid of.
Better people
he's one I would get
rid
of.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Gibbs White.
You come to MG Dub, Anne.
You get rid of Morgan Gibbs White?
Yeah.
What?
But you wouldn't get rid of
50 million. 50 million.
I've finished. You all
see. On
that bombshell, let's just say hi to Joe.
Might have replied to that.
Honestly, we all reply. Just Joe, the legend, Leeds fan, man. What a game your lot put on yesterday. What were you doing against Pumpy, man? He's saying, talk to me. Sells Morgan Gibbs White and Wood in my FPL team. Will they all play? Backing your early fixtures. Wood, yes. Morgan Gibbs White, yes. Sells, it depends. If we get Ramsdale in, then bin him for Ramsdale, mate. But make sure you subscribe to Just Joe. So entertaining.
Especially when Leeds lose. Swap Sells for Milenkovic. Other than that, is a good choice.
Get Milenkovic in. He'll be a solid midfield defender. Yeah. Okay, so hold on. So Ants just said that he wouldn't sell Danilo for 40 million, but he'd sell Morgan Gibbs White for 50 million. Did I hear that right? And firstly, I don't want to misquote you because I know how you get all like,
Yeah, I don't like to be called a liar or misquoted. No.
Okay, so I've quoted you correctly. Ez, this is yours, mate.
No, let him say it.
Well, I just concentrate on what I said. Say your own thing, and then I'll say my thing when it's my turn. I'm not going to respond to that just yet. Morgan Gibbs White.
But MG Dub does have to step it up. I agree with Van. He wasn't brilliant last season. He had spells. Under both managers, he had spells. But he came good under Nuno towards the end of the season. But for his price tag and for the amount of pressure we put on him, amount of responsibility he's given by Nuno and by the previous manager, he should be in double figures for goals and assists. His goal scoring is really poor.
Easy.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was on up until recently, up until the end of the season, he was on every single set piece as well. So I'm sorry, I agree with Ant on that he wasn't brilliant last season, and there's a lot more that we can expect from him. He is still a key player. I agree with Rob on that, but 50 million, Ant, come on, man.
All right, yeah, maybe I'm lowballing that a bit, but my point was that Well, we shouldn't really be concentrating on what I said. We should, because I will say my bit when I'm going to talk. So we should be concentrating on.
Are you
think is the
underwhelmed
most
by him, though?
important player.
And are you underwhelmed by what we've got back from him so far in his 2 seasons?
I'm very underwhelmed. He doesn't score enough goals. He doesn't create enough chances. He gives the ball away so many times.
That I'll agree with you on.
You know, his free kicks are awful. His corner kicks are worse. Come on, let's be realistic. Look, listen, I love MGW, and I don't want us to sell him. Don't misunderstand me. Don't misquote me. I don't want us to sell him. But I get a little bit fed up of the hype around him sometimes. Every other fan I talk to, who you think for his best players, MGW. Every manager on bloody TalkSport, MGW. And I'm thinking, are you watching us? Because most of the time, it's not that great. Occasionally, he's brilliant. Now, if he can improve, if he can become more consistent, if he can add goals and assists, if he can take a free kick, if he can actually pass to a Forest player, then that will be brilliant, and he'll be a brilliant player. But right now, Rob's saying he wasn't badly treated. How can you say he was badly treated? Foden and Bellingham, are you joking? Seriously, are you joking?
Okay, so when Maddison got injured, they put Anthony Wharton in the squad, which is and they said, he's not going to play.
He's a quality player, mate.
Terrible.
He's quality.
He is a quality
player,
but
he's not even the same kind of role as Maddison, right?
No,
Maddison.
I agree.
I agree. I felt that was a real slap in the face for Gibbs White.
To be fair, you're talking about Gareth Southgate, man. You're talking. We should not.
Let's not go down the Southgate convo, please.
We shouldn't even dignify any of his bloody decisions. So
one last point on MG Dub, and it's something that I've noticed for a lot of last season, and I've noticed it more in pre-season. But he is definitely a maverick in the changing room and on the pitch. You know, you see he keeps himself to himself. You see all these little clicks, but MG Dub is never in those clicks. Like I said, I mentioned Langa, Aina, and Cho. They've got their little click. The African players have got a little click. You know, there are clicks within the dressing room, but MG Dub does not seem to be part of any of those.
Yeah,
he's very much a maverick. He's very much a maverick, but that's just how he is. You know, we've heard from sources at the club that he is a proper prima donna. You know, things have to go his way, but that's his makeup. Going on from him, you know, he's still going to be our key player for now, and he will be our key player going into next season. But I need to see a lot more in terms of goals and assists from MG Dub, and he needs to be a threat. Take him off of set pieces, 100%. But still give him that responsibility.
Here actually started a petition about that.
Can somebody stick up for Morgan Gibbs White here? Because I think you lot are delusional. I thought he was brilliant last season.
Yeah, you've had your
There's a reason why the fans rated so highly.
Said yet who mine is. You've had your turn.
Well, look, I'm going to defend Ant. Right?
White for 50 million.
No. I'm going to defend. I'm not going to.
Maybe I was a bit lowballing that, but you get my point. My point is, I wasn't.
He is right in aspects of what he's saying. And Morgan Gibbs White against Olympiacos, some of those passes, I wanted to like snap my toe off, man. Where he decided he wanted to go with the outside of the boot when it's a 3-yard pass, inside of the foot would have done just fine, and then he messes the pass up. I get that. Sometimes he's too over. What's the word? Not dramatic. Elaborate. That's the word I'm looking for.
He's showing off in the Marinakis derby.
It didn't need it. It didn't need it
for 3 years, man. He's been doing it for this is the 3rd season he's been doing it. So don't.
Yeah, that I agree with. What I will say, I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but he needs to watch out because I have been hugely impressed with Anderson, and Anderson wants to play as a number 10. And I think this is good for Morgan Gibbs White.
Yeah.
He suddenly doesn't have that guarantee I'm first name on the team sheet in the 10 spot now, because I think Anderson has been a revelation in pre-season. Out on the left, in the middle, wherever. Set pieces have been absolutely spot on. We scored 2 from the last game from them. And I think it's what you said earlier, Crypto.
To a guy who never scored in his life, barely.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what you said earlier about, I think it was you or Ez, about competition for places. So there's absolutely, for me, there is no problem. Do you remember when Cooper finally subbed off, dropped Morgan Gibbs White for about half a match last season, and he came on angry and fired up?
But he was playing him on the right wing. I mean, Cooper's lost that.
Ignore that he was playing him out of position. My point is, sometimes a player needs to be grounded and reminded you're not guaranteed in the start. There should be no player who's guaranteed. Go on, Rob.
I quite like Gibbs White when he played deeper
in the eight.
I'd quite like to see Anderson in front of him. Gibbs White and Sangare tried out with Hudson-Odoi on the left,
just not a false
on the right.
Yeah,
he did well in that role. He doesn't have to be a 10 or a false 9.
I'm not saying I agree with Ant. I think he is, and I'm not saying most important, but he's extremely important. But I get why there's frustration in certain aspects of what he's doing. Chris with the £2 saying MGW is joint second in PL assists but needs goals. I agree with that, but there are stat packers, aren't there? Look at Bruno Fernandes. How many goals and assists did he get? He's utter crap. But thank you so much for the £2. Okay, let's get on to who Ant thinks is going to be.
Hang on, you've asked everybody except me.
Just let's go on to Ant and find out who he thinks is going to be the most important player. You didn't even let me finish the sentence. Go on.
I feel embarrassed. You've embarrassed me now. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Apology accepted, mate.
Thank you. That's very gracious of you. Yeah. Now, before people get on me, right? I love Morgan Gibbs White. I hope he has a fantastic season. But he does frustrate the hell out of me at times. Yeah. So let's leave it at that. I want the best for him, for us. Now, for me, the most important person, actually, it's more of a position than person, because I understand why, like Ed says, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and a lot of people have agreed with that, because he is a fantastic player, and he will be a lot of the players will be important to us, of course they will, but for me it's got to be Sangare, because he's in the most important position for me. That position in front of the back four, not just defending the back four, but also be able to break up the play and move forward and pass forward, is such a pivotal part, if you'll pardon the pun, because it's the pivot, such a pivotal part of a team makeup, that he has to be the most important player for me next season. If he plays well, if he plays to the potential that we believe he has, then we will have a good season.
Yeah.
If he doesn't,
and we've just agreed on something. We've agreed on something.
We agree on a lot, actually. We just fight on the things we don't.
Okay, well, that was quite calmly said, and I'm a little surprised. I do agree. I think because Sangare played, even though I don't think this Yates-Sangare partnership is the right one, Yates looked freer for me because Sangare was playing the sixth position correctly against Olympiacos. For me, I do agree that Sangare, but he has to perform for him to be the most influential player, is what I'd say. Go on.
Oh, yeah. So I think the original question was influential player or most impressive player. Sangare is the type of player I don't want to notice. If he's doing his job right, you're not going to, like the goalkeeper, you don't want to notice him. But pre-season has been really impressive from him for me. And I hope he's just given that time to settle. He still needs to settle into the Premier League. He still needs to get used to the pace of it, but he needs a run of games. And I think Nuno's going to give him that. I think the fans need to stay off his back. Even if he does make a mistake, like Rob said, we don't start jumping on his back, because he could be a real key player to allow everybody else to do their jobs. As long as he's there, he's going to be our linchpin, I hope, this season. And I do agree with the guys, but I don't want pressure on him. I just want him to be able to just do his job. Give him a run of games. Even if he has a bad game, give him that run of games. Don't take him out, because he needs confidence, and I think he needs somebody to believe in him. Nuno's that man. Nuno, we saw he worked wonders for a few players last season as soon as he came in, and he can do the same for Sangare. And let's just hope that he's given that time, the patience from the fans, and he gets that run of games, because he could be a key player. But again, like I said, he's one that I don't want to notice when he's doing his job right.
All right, let's move on and talk. And this one is with a pinch of salt before the freaking snowflakes out there get all upset, right? This is going to be who is going to be the biggest flop, right? Or the one that may disappoint us the most. And I'm going to, I feel cruel, but Rob, it's your turn.
I don't want to pick any of them.
I'm saying it's not a serious one, just the one you're worried about. All right, let's make it political. Who's the player you're most worried about? Does that sound more Lib Dem for you?
I'm still worried about Sangare, because
agenda.
Oh, look at you! See, look, you ask a difficult question. You don't like the answer that you get. I'm worried for him, because I think he wants to do well, but I feel like this confidence is brittle, and that's who I worry about. You know, it's like watching your kids cycling with the, you know, you take the stabilizers off and you think, no, don't fall off. I'm just waiting for. I just feel like if he does one bad pass and then the opposition scores from it, his confidence could be shot. All that preseason could just vaporize. So I'm still worried for him. But the counter argument to that is if he has 3 or 4 really good games under his belt at the start of the season and everybody's raving about him, he's got credit in the bank, then he can make a mistake or two. But I'm worried about that.
Chris is worried about you, mate.
Look, he was the biggest flop last year, so he's on for being biggest flop this year.
How was he the biggest flop last year?
Oh God, here we go again. Do I need to get Brucey on to discuss this with you?
Oh, Brucey's coming on, mate.
Is that your
By the
backup?
way, I've revised my assessment of last year. Vlachodimos was our best player for getting £22 million into this club. What a legend! Where do you want the statue? I'll make it out of papier-mâché. What a Greek legend. Thank you, Odysseus Vlachodimos, £22 million. No points deduction for us this year. Player of the season already.
Yeah.
Well,
and, when,
because of him, though, but go on.
and when we told everyone 22, oh, the hate we got on it, and they've all shut up now. All right, so you're saying Sangare with your Sangare agenda. Okay.
Go on,
Crypto, who are you saying? I bet I can guess.
I'll give you 2 answers. I mean,
one.
No, because the question's changed, hasn't it? Who you're most worried about? Our worst player is Ryan Yates. The player I'm most worried about is actually Sells, because I don't think he's looked brilliant pre-season. I think he looks a bit nervy. In that last game, he had a shot straight at him. He got down and he let it go through his body and they scored. And we do not need more Matt Turner type-esque problems in goal. Now, whether he's panicking a bit because he thinks Miguel might replace him, I don't know. But you've got to have the confidence in the keeper. Otherwise, your defense are going to fall apart. You've got to have 100% confidence that the person behind you is going to do the job that they're there to do. So I'm a bit worried about the goalkeeping situation because I don't think they really know who is the number 1 starter either. And if you put one of them on the bench, they probably won't want to be there because really they're both number 1s. So I'm a little bit worried about the goalkeeping situation. If we were to get Ramsdale, for me, he would go straight in, and that would secure everything up. But Sells, for me, is a bit of a worry at the moment.
Okay, interesting. He's articulated that quite well, I thought. Okay, and what are you saying?
I understand why Rob says about Sangare because, as I said,
he has an agenda.
No, as I said, the reason that I thought he was our most important player is because that's such a pivotal position. So I can understand he did underperform last year. There were reasons, we know that. We've seen promising signs this year, but I understand why he says it, not me, him says that. And I understand about Sells as well. But for me, it's Taiwo. I don't know if Taiwo's ever going to be the player that we saw for those few games that we saw him fit. You know what I mean? So I'll leave it at that. It's Taiwo.
Do you think a fit Taiwo is good enough, or are you saying that he's not good enough, or are you saying that he's too injury prone? Just to clarify.
I think a fully fit Taiwo, the lesser spotted fully fit Taiwo, is good enough to be a Premier League striker. I just don't believe that he's going to be fit enough for long enough and he's going to recover enough to become the player that he could have become before his injuries.
Okay.
There's something wrong there, isn't there? Because he's had long enough to get fit now.
Definitely something wrong.
He wants to go to America.
He wants to go to America.
He had the surgery. He might not have recovered properly from the surgery.
He might have gone wrong.
When did you have the surgery? What was it for?
The surgery. You've either recovered or you haven't.
Back, wasn't it? Oh, no, groin injury.
So we were accused of rushing him back, but like 6 months later, we ain't rushing him back. This is what we get, right? So what we see.
Yeah, but some people have injuries that affect them for life.
Yeah, and just because you've had the surgery
doesn't mean I'm worried.
It was his groin. It wasn't his ACL. I mean, like if you get a bad ACL, then you're out for a year, and then you don't want to go into any more tackles. But it's like the groin. It's not the sort of career-ending thing you'd expect.
It can be if he keeps happening, Rob. Or
If he keeps
because
pulling it,
obviously your
tweaking it.
groin, whenever you're stretching, whenever you're running, you lose, you use your groin quite considerably. So if you've got a problem and it keeps going, then it's a problem.
And he's
for
a very
life.
explosive player, isn't he? When he gets running, he's explosive. Look what he did to Rashford, in that game. He fucking absolutely left him.
I mean, I don't get excited when he comes on now. As sub, I don't get excited because A, he looks tubby, and B, I just haven't got any confidence he's going to reproduce that form. Because I've not. I mean, how long's it been now since we've seen him play a decent game?
I agree with you, Anne. I don't think, even when he's fit, his Bambi-like touches still do worry me. Yeah. But he seems to be in the right place at the right time.
He's still got an X factor for me.
I would like someone.
He can bully. He is capable of bullying defenders, isn't he? So he can't.
Yeah,
he's not clinical.
I just know what he did to Saliba.
He's not a clinical finisher, is he?
No.
Yeah.
I just remember what he did to Saliba in that few minutes when he came on against Arsenal and he fucking bullied him off the ball. Saliba was the best defender in the league without a doubt last season, and he absolutely bullied him off that ball. But
that's true. That's true.
For me, this is purely based on the atrocious preseason he's had. But Mr. Murillo, he's had a shaky preseason. He's had a very shaky. Now, listen, I'm going to go back on what I said last week. I said I fully expect him once the season kicks off to be bang on it, but he's had a very dodgy preseason. Now, his head we know has been turned because he's done interviews. He said what he needed to say. Maybe he's settled down now, but. Are you telling me none of you guys are worried that his head might have been turned and he might not be getting the Murillo?
But that doesn't make sense. Then why would he drop his performance if he did want to go to another team?
It's not about dropping your performance. Having your head turned doesn't mean you've dropped your performance. It means you've taken your eye off the ball.
But he hasn't been brought by anyone
for a few games. I think
he hasn't been
some
brought by
players
anyone.
are not very good in pre-season because they don't put everything in. But I think after a few games, we'll know. And I've got a feeling that come Bournemouth, it'll be back to what we expect.
I agree. I just wanted to put that out there.
I get your point, though.
I don't.
He's had nothing to prove.
Well, I'm
in
being nice,
pre-season.
aren't I? Because I upset Rob earlier on, so I've got to be nice.
Players like Elanga and Sangare and Anderson have had something to prove in pre-season. Murillo's had nothing to prove in pre-season, so he's not going to sort of raise his game. But you're
not worried where you got skinned by Gelson.
You'll see the quality. And I think that he's actually going to be a better player with Milenkovic alongside him, right? Now, I like Omobamidele, right? I think he's a really promising young player. I like Bolly as well, even though he's lost a yard of pace. But Milenkovic should hopefully be an upgrade on both of them. And it takes some of the responsibility off Murillo, right? Murillo, I felt like Murillo was the last line of defense, not the goalkeeper last season. It's like Murillo was the last line of defense. This gives Murillo the chance. He can potentially go on some of those dribbles, knowing that Milenkovic is alongside him there to clean up. He doesn't have to do all the hard work. So, I'm thinking he's going to be a better player this season.
But is he another player now? Because last season, his position wasn't really under threat. Even when Niakate was fit, Murillo held his role. But is he a player that should be worried now? But there is more competition. Because I agree.
Who is his position under threat by?
Omobamidele doesn't get into that centre-back period if Milenkovic and Murillo are on form. But Milenkovic can play the left side of it. So Omobamidele could easily come in from Murillo and come on in the other side. All I'm saying is Murillo needs to feel like he's under pressure for his position. He doesn't need to be feeling comfortable like any player in the team.
I just think whatever challenge you put in front of him, he's going to
be under pressure. He'll never be.
Exactly.
We've just said about MG Dub. MG Dub's had no competition since we got promoted. No competition for his place. Now he's potentially got some. Murillo's another player. Every single player needs to know that there's somebody ready to take their place. And Elanga could step up for it. And Murillo's another one that does need to step up. I think he will. Don't get me wrong. I think he will. But I just wanted to.
Well, what I will say is on our new show coming this Thursday night, this may be a topic that is covered off. So tune in 8 p.m. Thursday night for a brand new Forest show coming your way. And just quick reminder, when we've got nearly 1,100 of you in here, we've got over 500 on YouTube, 500 on TikTok. Hi to all you guys. Make sure you've hit that like button. We're only on 260 likes. You guys can do way better than that. And you guys have been chewing up those tickets for the Alanga, for the Nuno Taiwo double signed, double framed Forest kit. So if you want those tickets, scan the QR code that's next to my ugly face here, or click on the link that's pinned in the description. Make sure you've hit the like and subscribe as well if you are new. Okay, let's talk about. I'm really scared to do this one, and chat, I'm scared of your answers. And we'll kick this one off with Ez. And chat, get your answers in. These are receipts now, ladies and gents. Anything you type in the chat, we will be taking receipts from. Anything the boys say now, we will be taking receipts from. Crypto, I think you're echoing again.
Yeah, I can echo.
Ez, what position do Forest finish this season in? Over to you. Chat, get your answers in.
So you're already gonna shoot me down for what I'm gonna say now, but it does depend on getting a striker in.
I don't want any half.
Okay. With the way it is, I don't think we're good enough to finish in the top half. If we fix that position, we'll finish in the top half. So I'll say
no, as things stand today, give me a number.
11th.
11th.
Just outside the top half.
So you think if we get a striker, we move one place up? Is that what you're saying?
No, we move into the top half. I didn't say we're in the top half. We move into the top half.
All right, go on, big man. If we get a striker, where do we move into? I want more receipts here.
If we get a striker and the players that Nuno's got in, he plays them, I'm saying we're...
You nearly just dead named
just
Nuno
outside
Cooper.
I'm going to go... if we get the striker that I want, I'm looking at 8th.
8th,
yeah.
So, wait, No, did you hear that, chat? He said, if we get the striker he wants, not if we get a striker. I noticed the wording here. Okay, all right, clarify. Who's the striker you want, then?
I've said all along, I think Tony's perfect for the way we play. I think he's the man. Tony's the man. If we can get Tony, mate, I'm happy that we're fighting for a European place this season.
You ain't getting Tony, mate.
That much of a difference. I think he's that much of an upgrade than what we've got.
You ain't getting Tony.
No, we're not getting Tony. But even Jimenez is an upgrade on what we've got, but he's not going to get us a European place. But you'll talk about that tomorrow, won't you?
All right. Well, yeah, okay. I'll cover off Jimenez tomorrow. All right. So, chat, he said 11th. I've got all the receipts coming in here. Some interesting positions. Yeah, he is, Larry. He is. All right. And receipt time.
Okay. I'm going to be positive, and I'm going to say that the current team we've got right now, 14th. But I will say, if we get Jimenez, 14th.
No, it's the bit before. I'm going to be positive 14th. What was negative going to be?
Well, 17th, isn't it? Negative.
Okay.
If we get Jimenez, then I think we'll finish 9th. If we get Jimenez and Ramsdale, we'll finish 8th.
Wait, so are you saying you'd be happy with 14th?
No. I'll be happy with...
But you said positive.
First.
So...
No, I'll be happy with first. That would make me
I like
happy.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm confused with this positive word.
Yeah, because I was thinking 15th at first, and then I thought, no, let's be positive and go 14th. Let's go. No, let's go out there. Listen, we finished 16th and 17th the last 2 seasons, all right? And both of those pre-seasons, we thought we were going to storm the league. So come on, give me a break. So I'm going up to 14th, but with Jimenez, 9th. That's 5 places because I reckon that guy can bang. And with Ramsdale, 8th.
Okay. Crypto, dare I ask you?
I mean, I'm going to have to stay consistent to what I wrote on Twitter, so I'm going 10th.
Yeah.
10.
I think we can do it. There's lot
with the current squad, with no new striker or anything.
Squad. Yeah, I'm not on with all this bullshit. If we get Ramsdale, if we get Tony, because you could say anything. You could say if we get Mbappe, if we get Messi.
Well, no, we're talking about players we're linked with for a start.
Yeah, that's a bit disingenuous.
Yeah, you just chatting shit, mate.
We have been, linked with these.
I'm going 10th. With the squad we've got now, 10th.
Wait, what are you talking about? We've been linked to? No, we haven't been linked to Tony, and he's been bleating on about Tony.
I'm trying to get us linked with Tony.
I tried.
Yeah, Ez is the link with Tony. He is the link.
All right, so you're saying 10th?
Yeah, because what you've got to take note of this season is the teams that have come up are not great. I don't think they'll provide that much of a challenge. People like Leicester, Ipswich, they're going to go straight back down. You got teams who are going to be in trouble, Everton, etc. Bournemouth have lost their key striker. I think it's going to be an easier season than it was last season. Yeah, it's gonna. I think it's going to be an easier season than it was last season. I think we've got a better squad. We've got players in the right position. We've got a strong bench. We've had a good pre-season, and there's worse teams around us in the league. And also, we're not playing all the big teams at the start. I think I'm going for 10th. I think we're going to do well. I think it'll be a surprise this season. And I'm one of the ones
finished 10th last year, didn't they?
Well, I'm one of the ones who last season thought we'd finish, 17th. So I didn't have much confidence in the last 2 seasons. This season, I'm feeling confident.
Amit agrees with you.
DB, if you want to know the names of the teams, go on my Twitter. It's all on there. I posted my predicted league.
Nice one, Ben.
Just before we go to Rob, the beautiful Carol with the 15 months. Thank you so much, Carol. Obviously, legend of the chat, and of course, a great mod. Rob, what are you saying, man? We've had 10th, we've had 14th, we've had about 4 different numbers from us.
8th, 9th, I had to settle on 12, didn't I? I had to settle on 12.
Sensible predictions. I'm going to go with the wisdom of the crowd. 12th to 14th. Right. I think
no. I want a number.
Right. 14th then. Right. We'll be vying with people like Wolves and Palace. Wolves and Palace are at that level, right? So if we have a good season, we'll come ahead of Wolves and Palace. We might be 12th. For an average season, we'll be slightly behind them. But we are definitely going to finish above Southampton, Ipswich, and Leicester. And I'm hoping we're going to finish above Bournemouth and Brentford as well, because it's time that we make that step up, right? So I've just named 5 clubs that are going to be below us. I think, the thing about Bournemouth is if they don't spend that money well, I think Iraola himself is going to be a target, right? The first sort of big name casualty goes from a Big 6 club. I think they'll move on him, and then Bournemouth are fucked, right? Without him and without Solanke, they could go into a death spiral.
He's not that good.
Going for what?
No, he added a lot of he got a lot of credit for last season. And so anyway, look, it depends. I think a lot of it depends on who gets sold, right? If Brentford sell Tony, they're in trouble, right? If Palace lose Eze and Elise, they're in trouble, even with Glasner, right? So I think that these are the unknowns at this stage, right? If we sign a really good striker, and I think that Jimenez is a good fit, then I think it's 12th to 14th, and we're going to be fighting it out with the likes of Fulham, Wolves, Palace, depending on who gets sold from those teams. So I think
because there's only like a few points.
So you're basing our position on other teams.
Well, because these are the variables.
You've got to take into consideration other teams, haven't you?
I wasn't even allowed to have a variable of adding a striker. So
man, you would submit all kinds of crap in. Don't start, man.
You shouldn't have gone first. He's just let me have all those ifs and buts. We've worn him down.
All right. Okay. Final question of the night. It wants to go first. I won't tell you what the question is yet. It wants to go first.
I will. I know.
Even when I put me on,
I'm going to hand up first. Shout out to the legend JB, 16-month membership. Also, Michael, if you're watching, I can't see you in the chat. Massive shout out to my boy Michael, the OG himself. I don't know. What am I saying? Oh, mine's coming in the video. I don't mingle with these commoners underneath me here. You guys should know that by now. Right, I'm going to be doing it with
talk very much because he talks every day.
Exactly.
So
and
plus,
plus,
a bit of a break.
And plus, I'm not doing mine until Brucey. I'm calling you out, Brucey. You said you're coming on to put receipts on the table. I will do mine alongside Brucey when he grows a pair and comes on. So, Brucey, get back to me, all right? And we need to talk about Sangare, mate. And you had your hand up first. Chat, get your answers in on this one. Name the 3 relegated teams.
Ooh. Leicester, Ipswich,
Correct. Okay.
And Brentford.
Interesting. In that order.
Is that because we're going to get Ivan Toney?
In that order. Don't put orders are too difficult.
I'm just saying. You said it. All right, there's some news. Forest have rejected a 20 million bid from Atalanta for Nico Williams. I would have snapped that up personally.
I would have taken that.
I wouldn't.
You just don't want anyone sold, Angie. You just want them to retire.
There's something in that, because when I was growing up, and maybe when you were growing up too, players used to stay at your club for years. You know what I mean? There wasn't always chopping and changing every year.
No, sorry, Anne. Let me just read out the tweet. Apologies. So it's from Romano. I understand Forest have rejected formal bid from Atalanta for Nico Williams this weekend. Proposal was over 20 million turned down by NFFC. Atalanta have also sent bid to Flamingo for Wesley. Ongoing talks. Okay, so we'll have the full updates on tomorrow morning's video. Okay, let's get back to the question. So you said those 3. I don't think it's a bad shout, to be honest. I don't think it's a bad shout. Rob, you had your hand up next.
Ipswich, Leicester, Southampton. I don't think it's that complicated.
Straight up, straight down.
Yeah. Well, that's what's happened in all the previous seasons, isn't it?
Not when we went up, mate. What are you talking about?
Okay, so we're special.
About all 3 stayed up when we came up, mate.
All right, I just think Leicester, if they've got the points deduction, are doomed.
Yeah,
and I think
they're doomed anyway.
I think Ipswich are going to struggle to. Ipswich are going to
give
struggle
Leicester 20
to
points
adapt.
and they'll still go down.
And Southampton was so lame that season they went down, and they lost their best player anyway, Ward-Prowse. So I'm not convinced that they've got what it takes. I'm afraid. So I just think it's uncontroversial. I just think it's those 3.
You're pretty boring with your answers tonight, mate.
Well,
14 and 3 up, 3 down.
You ask a boring question, get a boring answer. I do think that
can I say also, Rob,
shit question.
last season was the first time in God knows how many years that the 3 that came up actually went back down again. It's not a normal thing.
Everton are never going down. Everton are relegation proof. We've had so many tries of getting rid of those bastards, and they just never go. They are the
everyone get your bet. Everton now. Rob's just guaranteed them relegation.
To be fair, even with a 10-point deduction, we couldn't get rid of them last season.
That's true. That's true.
Hard go.
Yeah.
I do think that there's going to be maybe one surprise package in there, whether it's Brentford or potentially Fulham. If Silva goes, you never know. They could have a bad run. So there's a few that may be a bit brittle.
Okay. All right. Another boring answer there from Rob. Sensible, boring. Okay, we'll take it. Ez, what are you saying?
I'm going to carry on the boring answers, mate. 3 up, 3 down, but.
Oh my! You can't copy him now, man.
What's it? What was really, like he said, like Rob said? What a shit question! You know, you're gonna get a shit answer.
How's it a shit question? How is it? It's a standard issue question for this time of the year.
3 up, 3 down. But a couple of teams I hope get involved in it is I hope Brentford get involved in it, and I hope Fulham as well, because Silva I think will leave. I think he's had enough. I don't think he can really take them any further forward. So. I think they've had a couple of seasons where they've flattered to deceive. So Fulham and Brentford to be involved in that relegation fight. But I think, the 3 up, 3 down, mate. I can't see anything else.
So boring, these Ben, what you got?
Well, okay, you can give at least your relegation prediction. Go on.
I mean, you're not gonna like my answer because I also said 3 up, 3 down.
Well, as long as you don't say Forest, I don't think I'm gonna be that adverse to it, man.
The one thing I will say is, when Leicester go down this season in last place, all of you Cooper sympathisers will realise that we were right. He's not a Premier League manager, and you lot are wrong.
And to be fair, I think they already think that. To be fair, from what I've seen.
Fans do, man. I feel sorry for the Leicester fans. If you lot could see my WhatsApp messages, that's a good. So you're saying 3 up, 3 down?
Yeah.
You lot are so boring, man.
Hey, I didn't.
Yeah, and you're not boring, and you know, but you were meant to be tired. You've woken up a bit though, which is okay. All right, that will do us. We've hit the 90-minute mark. So I hope you've enjoyed that episode. Back tomorrow with a transfer update. We'll clear up all the links, the rumors, and everything else for you guys there. Shout out to the panel as always. No one's killed each other tonight. That's always a positive. Remember, from next week, there's going to be a lot of changes coming on FFTV in terms of lineup, in terms of shows coming up as well. So keep an eye out for all of that. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Thank you to all 1,100 of you, 1,100 we've had on tonight. You guys are absolute legends.
Like
Thank
button
you
on the way
again.
out, guys.
20k. This channel is nothing without you guys. Forget these idiot panelists. You guys make FFTV. We'll see you on the transfer update tomorrow. Wait, before I go, quick shout out to JB for the 16 months, absolute legend, and Kenneth with the 12 months as well, and £2 from 1865. Thank you so much, bro. We had a cracking holiday, and we're all back. And we're
Quick
all.
one before we go. Anyone asking? Me and Ant will be in the usual place outside the fan zone. So if you want to meet us before the Bournemouth game, please.
Or if you want to avoid the area.
Yeah. Noah, we're talking about you, mate. Yeah. Good. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the transfer video. Come on, you Reds.
You Reds.
You Reds.